Hello, Idahoans. This is another edition of Fiscal Fridays with Fred. I want to talk to you today about a very specific topic, college and university budgets. So Idaho appropriates, and it's a big number, so I have to read it, about $600 million plus to our 4 colleges and universities. And you think, well, they're large institutions with thousands of students, that's probably appropriate. But buried in that very big number are some very unpleasant realities. And I'm going to share some of those with you today. So for example, at Boise State, there's literally over $1 million of stuff that's easily identifiable as social justice and really left-wing spending. There's a gender equity center, a multicultural student services center, a cultural ethnic diversity center. There's another gender studies line item. Of course, there's Boise Public Radio, and I could go on and on. Now, in addition to those direct dollars, there's a lot of spending woven into various academic programs. So the Department of Sociology, for example, has a lot of left-wing stuff in terms of how they teach that course subject. Let's move to the University of Idaho. $180,000 for the Native American Student Center, $106,000 for the Women's Center. There's another $96,000 for Tribal Relations. There's the LGBTQA office. They get about $20,000. An Equity and Diversity office, $125,000. Idaho State has less of this, much less, but they still have these diversity and equity type of centers and programs. And LCSC probably has the least, although they are getting started. So why do I bring this up? Well, for years, the media in Idaho has preached this notion that we're just simply starving our universities of resources. And I would ask you to consider this. If you were under duress for your budget, would you fund those sorts of things? Diversity and equity and all these centers. Again, students can believe what they like, but these are funded with public monies. And the answer is you wouldn't if you were under financial duress. And the reason is they're not under financial duress. Now let's talk briefly about what's happening this session. There is a budget fight, you may have heard, and the budget fight was about how do we reduce the propensity of these colleges and universities to spend our public money on these non-academic divisive subjects. So there are several motions or budget options. Unfortunately, the one that the Joint Finance and Appropriations Committee chose was the one that had the smallest impact. And what they specifically did was to sort of punish Boise State. Now, I mentioned earlier all the universities engage in the social justice stuff. They took $409,000, which is much less than they're spending on social justice, out of their budget, and they gave it to Lewis and Clark State College. So there was no reduction in terms of what they proposed as compared to the governor's budget. There was just a shift. Now, you might say, well, $400,000, that's significant. But $49 million of federal money has come in as part of COVID relief. Now, I know you might think, what does the disease have to do with universities? But all sorts of money was put out there. Of that $49 million, about $20 million went to Boise State, $13 million to Idaho State, about almost $4 million to Lewis and Clark State College, and nearly $12 million to the University of Idaho. Now, these have been presented as budgets. They haven't been approved by the legislature. And that's why it's important to understand when you hear all these complaints about universities being underfunded, it's not true. They don't spend their money wisely. Didn't even get into the administrative bloat. And then there's a ton of federal money floating around. So the budget fight about the university should be to compel them to stop spending money on social justice programming and things that don't educate our young people in Idaho. Thank you, and that's another edition of Fiscal Fridays with Fred.